Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show how to work a circular cast on. I'm going to show you first how to cast on an even number of stitches. Then I'm going to show you how to cast on an odd number of stitches. To begin with, for an even number of stitches, I'll take my about 6 to 10 inches of yarn tail. I make a clockwise circular loop over the working yarn with the tail yarn, then bring the tail yarn through that loop. And when I begin knitting, I want to start with a yarn over and then make a knit one, yarn over, knit one, and I repeat this process until I have the number of stitches I need for my pattern. So here I made 8 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8. Then when I'm finished knitting, you'll notice I finished with a knit one. That's on purpose. Then I'm going to pull the tail yarn and close that loop all the way. When I'm done with this, all of my stitches are secure on my needle and secure also by tightening this loop. To begin knitting the first round, and whether I'm working on a circular needle or a double pointed needle, it's the same process. I scoot the stitches all the way to the front of the needle or the left needle tip in the case of a circular needle. Get the tail yarn out of the way, then I begin working my first round, which in most cases you are asked to just knit that round. And notice all I have to do is knit it as if I am working it straight. When I'm done, I'll show you how it looks like. So pull this through, then it looks like a star, and when I begin knitting the next round, which will be round 2, then this here will close. With that said, to begin knitting the second round, if I am working with a magic loop like here, then I divide my stitches in half and pull a loop like this, and get the top half on the left needle tip and then the bottom half on the right needle tip. Then I pull that so I have enough slack to start knitting with it. Get my tail yarn out of the way, front or back, it doesn't matter, and then bring my working yarn and then begin working my round 2 of my pattern. If I had started the process using double pointed needles, then after round 1 all my stitches would be on one needle. To begin knitting round 2, I need to divide these stitches onto at least 2 needles. So I'll just scoot half of these stitches onto one needle, and then I already have the other half on the original needle here. And to begin knitting my next round, which in this case is round 2, then I bring a third circular needle and my working yarn, and then I begin working my second round per pattern. Now I am going to show you how to cast on an odd number of stitches. You start the process exactly the same way. You take about a 10-inch to 6 to 10-inch tail yarn, and you make a clockwise loop. Bring that tail through the loop, and that tail starts on top of the working yarn, and then it goes under and through the loop. And to make an odd number of stitches and end with a knit stitch, we have to begin with a knit stitch. But notice, if I actually go under and begin with a knit stitch, this structure becomes a bit unstable and it starts to unravel, because that's my first knit stitch. What I want to do is, after I bring the tail yarn through that circle, I want to loop it around one more time. Just go under and bring it through one more time. So now I have it looped around this round thing twice. Then you'll notice here on top I have this loop connected to my working yarn. I'm going to loosen it up like this, then insert my needle from back to front and lift it up, and this will be my knit stitch. Then I make a yarn over and knit, and you'll notice here it's still secure. So I complete the process: yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit, and if I want to make 9 stitches, then one more yarn over and one more knit. And I started with a knit stitch, I ended with a knit stitch. So now when I pull the tail to tighten this loop, I have all my stitches secure on the needle like I had them when I casted an even number of stitches. So then when I want to knit my first round, I repeat the exact same process. I move these stitches to the front of the needle or the left needle tip. Then with my right needle tip, I knit that first round, or rather I follow the instructions for my pattern, which in most cases you are asked to knit that first round. I hope this has been useful. Thank you for watching, and happy knitting.